I speak unto thee this day, I say, seek to remain in the mind of my spirit. For I say, if you remain in the mind of my spirit, so are you guided by the same. But I say that if you bring yourself out of the mind of the spirit to take up the mind of your own carnality, to take up the mindset of demons, what do? I say you walk in a way that is not pleasing unto me, and I say you pursue a course that will only cause you to lose your soul. Now I say you are living in a time when multitudes have strayed away from the mind of my spirit, despising the same. That is, they have considered that through their own carnal and fleshly calculations, they know a better way. And I say in the process, they have established a religion that is far from me. And I say it is the religion of the worship of self and the promotion of the lust of the flesh. Now I say that I, the living God, never called thee to such falsehood, to such stupidity and darkness, not at all. For I say that those who come out from under the mind of my spirit to pursue the lust of the flesh, where do they end? I say they end under the wrath, the fury, the indignation revealed against those who are refusing to believe in me. And I say they take themselves in a way that will cause them sore dismay. Now I say this day that I, the living God, do offer unto thee the way that is truth and light, the way that is mercy and hope, and the way that is peace provided. And I say if you will be walking uprightly, coming forth in that way, then you are ever strengthened by me. But I say if you are strayed from the way that I, the living God, do intend, what do? I say you go in a way that will prove to be emptiness, futility, and despair. Now I say you are living in a time when many have followed the religion of falsehood that professes that it is of me. But I say that all of the goals of the same are nothing but the fulfillment, the procurement, and the achievement of fleshly lust. And I say that men who are full of pride and their own understanding love it so. And I say they strut, they boast themselves, they put forth great puffs of wind, call their words, and claim they know all about me. But I say they are not under the mind of my spirit, but rather they are driven by the lust of the flesh. That is, they are ever seeking to fulfill their own lust, their own greed, their own desire, and claiming that it is of me. But I say it is not of me, it is not of my kingdom, not at all. I say this day that I, the living God, never called thee to seek to fulfill the lust of your flesh, but I say that I've called thee to walk uprightly in me. That is, I have called thee to be ever seeking to please me, the one you are meant to serve. Now I say you are living in a time when multitudes have strayed away from that which I intend and provide. And I say they've gone a-whoring after the lust of the flesh and the securing of the same. And I say in the process they have turned themselves in a way that is not pleasing me. That is, they have gone in a way of foolishness and vanity, vexation and stupidity and darkness. Now I say this day, if you really consider how foolish it is for a man to try to please two masters and bow down to the same. That is, for a man to claim that he's serving me when really he's doing nothing but serving the lust of his flesh. For I say, when a man will declare that I have told him to build and secure and make great gains, I say that he's a liar deceived. For I say he is laboring for the fulfillment of the lust of his own flesh, for the pride of his life, and to be well spoken of by men. I say he's not laboring for me, nor is he operating under the mind of my spirit. Now I say this day that I, the living God, do find joy in a people who will walk humbly before me. That is, ever seeking to please me, to walk uprightly in me, and be kept in my way. For I say, if it is me that you will be focused upon, if it is me that you will seek to please and obey, what will you see? You will see that I am indeed the Almighty God, who does give my mercy, my truth, my light unto thee. Now I say this day that I, the living God, do offer unto thee the way wherein you can walk, the way wherein you can be kept always by me. And I say, if you will indeed be walking in that way, then I say you will learn to abide satisfied. But I say, if you give your eyes to the lust of the flesh, ever desiring and longing and craving for that which I, the living God, do not intend for thee, what do? I say you take yourself into a place of frustration, irritation, and displeasure with me. And I say you are ever displeased to do what it is that I desire because you want your own way. Now I say this day that I, the living God, am sorely distressed with those who have chosen to walk according to the lust of the flesh. For I say all the while they are using my name in fraudulence and pretension and hypocrisy, and loving to do so. But I say that I, the living God, am not mocked, and when men will choose to walk in such ways, I say they are considered as fools before me. And I say that I, the living God, will not give unto them the truth, the light, and the mercy that I alone do bring. Now I say this day that I, the living God, have called thee to walk uprightly, coming forth in that which I give thee day by day. And I say that I've called thee to be thankful that it is me that you can continue to look unto and believe. I say that I've called thee to be thankful that it is me that you can obey and follow after, for I am the way of life unto thee. And I say if you really consider what a privilege you've been given to serve, to love, to obey me, then I say you will not go in the lust of the flesh. But I say you will seek to be ever under the mind of my Spirit, being directed by the same. Now I say in this wicked generation that you are in, I say there are whole spectrums of those who claim that they are my people, and it is not true. For I say they are merely desiring to fulfill their fleshly lust to make gain through my name. And I say all the while they are promoting, they are declaring, they are procuring, and it is all in vain. For I say they are going after the things that are merely carnal, and not the things that pertain to my spirit at all. Now I say this day that I, the living God, do not call any man nor woman to be circumvented from me, to be smothered out by the cares of this life. That is, to be giving themselves over to the securities, to the vanities, to those things that take their hearts far from me. But I say that I've called my people to have their confidence ever in me, looking unto me, that they can indeed be receiving of what it is that I offer and provide. Now I say this day, be thankful that it is me that you can continue to look unto and believe. And I say, be thankful that I will bring thee forth in the truth, the light, the strength of who I am. For I say, if you will indeed be looking unto me, believing in me, and partaking of all that I give to my own, I say you will learn to abide satisfied. But I say, if you are walking in a place of estrangement from my arrangement, then I say you will be proven to be the fool. Now I say this day that I, the living God, do offer unto thee the way of truth, the way of light, and the way of mercy intended. And I say, if you will be coming forth in that way, then you will be uplifted in me. And I say that you will be given the truth and the light, the strength, the hope, and the peace of who I am day by day. For I say it is me, the living God, who will give to thee tender mercy, blessedness, and truth, and the light always. Now I say this day that I, the living God, do delight to give unto my own the abundance of goodness, the abundance of truth, the abundance of mercy. And I say, if you will be thankful for what it is that I, the living God, do offer, you are ever kept in me. And yes, you are guided, directed, corrected, and instructed by me, for I am the one who is able. And I say, it is me, the living God, who does give to thee the blessedness, the truth, and the light always. Now I say this day that I, the living God, do not call thee to walk in the foolery, the vanity, the stupidity of the lust of the flesh. For I say, if I, the living God, intended that my own people would be full of the riches of this world, I would have made it evident from the beginning. But I say that I've intended that my people would be full of the riches of my kingdom, that they could indeed promote the same. For I say that my own people are not meant to be teaching others to fulfill the lust of the flesh, but rather deny the same, take up the cross, and follow after me. Now I say you are living in a time when I, the living God, am bringing forth my wrath upon the riches of men who have thought the same made them all right. That is, when you see how much they have given themselves over to be slaves in order to secure the lust of their flesh, then I, the living God, bring my wrath against the same. then I say they are left in the desolation, they are left in the emptiness of the futility that they have pursued. And I say it is all for naught, for I say that all of their riches do not gain them anything in me. Now I say this day that I, the living God, do not find pleasure in those who will remain carnally minded, refusing to worship me in the way that I desire. For I say when men will be carnally minded, I say they are dead in trespasses and sins. For I say they will only labor for that which fulfills the lust of their flesh, the pride of their lives, and I say it is all in vain. Then they find out in the end that it was senseless and useless, because there is really no fulfillment of lust. For I say that lust is a consuming, a driving force that will cause a man to become a greater and greater transgressor against me. And I say all the while he will lie to himself and put on vain shows of hypocrisy to cover his sin. But I say when a man will allow himself to be driven by lust of any kind, then I say he is separated by that lust from me. For I say that the ones who are mine are not meant to be driven, possessed of lust, but they are meant to be directed and guided by the mind of my spirit. I say this day be thankful that I, the living God, will be ever present to lead, to guide, to bring thee forth, if you will be dependent upon me. And I say that I will be ever present to give to thee the truth, the life, the mercy, and the peace always. And I say that I will be ever present to give to thee the blessedness that you have need of day by day. For I say it is me, the living God, who will direct thee, correct thee, and bring thee forth. Now I say this day that I, the living God, do intend that you would indeed be seeking to please me, be seeking to remain under the mind of my spirit. For I say if you will indeed be governed by the mind of my spirit, you will not fulfill the lust of the flesh. But I say if you are governed by the lust of the flesh, you obviously will hate the mind of my spirit. For I say that the two cannot dwell at peace together, but I say they are in constant war. Now I say this day that I, the living God, do indeed find pleasure in the man or the woman who will put aside the lust of their flesh to take up the mind of my spirit and obey the same. Therefore I say each day choose to live and abide in the mind of my spirit rather than the wickedness of your own evil heart. For I say that I, the living God, do not call thee to be carnally minded, for yes, indeed, the same is death before me. But I say that I call thee to enter into the mind of my spirit and be in fellowship with me. Now I say the more that any man will seek to pamper his own carnality, I say that he's literally pampering the demon forces that lurk within. That is, he's giving way to his flesh, which will do nothing but take him far from me. I say when I, the living God, declared that my own people are meant to deny themselves, that's exactly what I mean. That is, to deny the demands, the commands, the dictates of the lust of the flesh, and take up the cross and follow after me. Now I say if you hate to hear the word deny yourself, I say it is because you are giving too much headway to the beast that lurks within thee. Now I say this day that I, the living God, do offer to thee the way that is truth and light, the way that is mercy and hope, walk in the same. And I say be ever thankful that it is me that you can be looking unto, believing and trusting in. I say be ever thankful that I give to thee the way wherein you can find joy in me. For I say if you walk according to the dictates of the mind of my spirit, I say that I will lead thee forth in the renewed life that is found in me. But I say if you come out of the mind of my spirit to take up the mind of the lust of the flesh, you are taking up the mind of death. I say this day do not take up the mind of death and be found under my wrath, but I say keep the mind of life that is found in my spirit.